going on, guys? We're going to talk mass gray. Maritime Assault Suit mass gray. It's where it came from. We were already wearing these for VBSS. It's a dry suit we got issued. And it worked really well in the maritime environment. So we kind of adopted it. We made maritime camis, ultra fast wicking. They dry super quick. It's more of like a board short material. Kind of stuff, a lot of four-way stretch. It lends itself to be more appropriate in the maritime environment for all the things that come with it. But the original, what everybody was kind of going for, was this. And you guys have seen the grays on ships and haze gray and everything in between. This was just our variant the Navy used, and it works really well. It does. But more importantly, it's not over-the-top military-ish. So it translates to civilian world to normal application really well. I mean, you don't have to be that guy with everything's multicam out in the flat range, because you start to stand out like dog's balls. But I mean, you can wear a mass gray t-shirt out in town and it doesn't look overt military. I think that was one of the cool things about it. Like DEF CON knocked it out, dropping shoes with LBT. And that's something a lot of people don't realize, is that this color code, mass gray, is unique to LBT. So LBT partnered with the Navy. They took this concept, they did their own spin-off, and they did carriers, one of the original LBT carriers, but built-in foam flotation. Got to be neutrally buoyant inside of the water. But then pouches came out. I mean, everything in between. We went mass gray all the way, and we dig it. So we're going to use it for the 2022 instructor line belt. Everything you guys like about the normal belt, we just threw out a different colorway. So pouches, suites, all that kind of stuff will be coming out. But I thought it was important that people know that MASS is an acronym. MAS, Maritime Assault Suit.
Not a color.
It's not a color. It's not made of. They just didn't arbitrarily pick this thing out of the fucking atmosphere. And this is our version of gray. They took it from a pre-existing suit we were already using. Already worked really well. And while I'll be the first one to admit it, I didn't like putting on that suit. I didn't like being in the water. I didn't like being cold. I didn't like being, yeah, I didn't like being miserable.
How often do you guys wear those suits?
Usually in the boats. If you're going to be wet for a prolonged period of time, like an exposure suit, I mean, I don't know what the outside temp is right now in Virginia Beach, but it's freezing.
Yeah.
Now you're on a boat all day long, like the boat guys especially, like, dude, they're in those things all day.
You wear like a liner, like a thermal, or?
So a lot of people do. A lot of people wear warmies underneath them. I can't because I sweat too much. So I'd be under there in nothing but a t-shirt, sweating my ass off.
But it'd still be cold.
I'd be freezing.
Yeah.
But once you start moving, you can't regulate that temperature. So like some of the guys who like, they have their kata down, like little ninjas inside of their suit. You know, you've got your neck ring. So this thing is super tight around your throat. You can't breathe. So when you get up to the top, you pull out your handy dandy neck ring. So a lot of guys would just run around with this thing. And then as soon as you get on board, you take that, you roll this thing down, and then you crack your zipper just a little bit. So you take this zipper and then just crack it to let it breathe a little bit. That'll kind of help you out. And try to loosen this up and just take a little bit of the pressure out of it. Because I mean, everything in there, I mean, it seals 100%, so you just sweat.
Right.
But like some of the nuanced stuff, like just this extra slop, like that won't get better. Like to be able to take this thing and hem it down and figure out the best way to wrap this up, just so you don't have a bunch of slop in there. Like just cinch everything down, like the same way you would your cry pants. You do the same thing on the back of the knee. Yeah. Like take the time to cinch this whole thing down. Same thing down at the ankles. Like cinch it down so it doesn't look like you're in some big baggy suit, because this shit
start rubbing
is loud, man.
It is.
Like it's super loud. Like you got to be accountable for that. So it's like some of the nuanced stuff we harp on now. Like take the time, man. Like slick all that down so you don't.
Yep.
Now imagine 40 people doing that. It's loud.
It's loud.
So you got to be.
Here you coming.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Like they really tried to make this thing like a high-performing kayak suit. They added in belt loops. The whole thing, just the cuts on it are so much better than what we started with in like early 2000s. Like, that thing was just not where you wanted to be.
When you use it for work, do you use a plate carrier on top of it, or you do? And you use these guys?
Yeah, I mean, we use those. I don't have the S&S one built, but yeah, an S&S has a nice plate frame.
Yeah, the plate frames.
Yeah, the plate frames are good, but it's like something small enough you can actually move, but something you can get off super fast.
Right.
Because you have the opportunity to get out of this suit, you want to get out of this suit as fast as possible. I didn't even know that mass was a color associated to a color.
Right.
My entire career, I heard mass suit. I thought mass suit, frizz suit, dry suit, it was all one and the same. I didn't know what mass stood for when I first heard it. I just thought it was like a nickname for a dry suit.
Right.
Like, everybody gets your mass suit. Cool.
How do you piss out of this?
So you've got...
So you do, okay.
So you have this, but we used to make a joke, digging through 9 inches of fabric to find 3 inches of dick. It's like, there's no good way to do it. Like, you're just swimming for stuff. And then a lot of times, guys, they don't zip it back up, or they forget. Mm-hmm. Like, taking a piss, they won't zip it all the way, or they'll just leave it, and now they're going to get off, and they have to jump back in the water for a brief period of time, and you can hear it. Just trying to cram to do this.
Just major shrinkage.
Yeah, man, it's just every little detail. That's Mass Gray. Yeah, January 29th. So we're going to drop a bunch of stuff. Yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to emails and text alerts, I do that because we're definitely dropping a bunch of stuff last minute, spur of the moment, and we're only putting out updates on there. So
You don't want to miss out.
yeah, if you don't want to miss out, I definitely subscribe to text alerts. That's like my new favorite thing. I'll just blow out a text alert and we'll just throw some random stuff up for guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Drop us a comment down below and let us know if there's anything else you guys need. Appreciate you guys.